A wealthy businessman wanted to establish new branches of his businesses overseas, and he sent some of his employees in twos, paired them in twos. Hi, I'm Timilayo Kush, and I'll be talking about the interconnectedness of spiritual laws, part 2. Join me. So today I'll be talking about the law of reproduction and the law of increase. In previous videos, I've actually talked about what laws are. You can make reference to the first video I did on the interconnectedness of spiritual laws. That's the introduction, and also I touched on it on part 2. I'll attach that to this particular video. You can check the link for this video and then for those videos and then watch them. We will be talking about the law of reproduction. The law of reproduction states that everything created can recreate a copy of itself, but for that copy to be obtained, there has to be a process for that copy to be created. So let me give an example. There's this quote by Apostle Joshua Selman. He would say that true leaders don't maintain followers, but they turn followers into leaders and leaders into agents of change. So true, so true, so true. Every organization, every institution, any nation that wants to live beyond their time, they have to turn people who are following into leaders and leaders into agents of change. There's so many examples I would have given. The law of reproduction happens all around us. Everything from biology as human beings. We also know that we will have offsprings. For those who get married, they give birth to children. Most times you see a lot of children, they look like their parents, and so many other things. For that copy to be obtained, there has to be a process. There has to be a process. And that's the process of a man and a woman coming together. That's for we human beings. That's the process that gives birth to the word, to the child. So let's move right on to the law of increase. The law of increase states that for anything to grow or rise in amount or size, there has to be consistent effort to ensure that that particular thing or anybody or anyone involved increases. So I'll use the same quote by Apostle Joshua Selman that said, true leaders don't maintain followers, but they turn followers into leaders and leaders into agents of change. For anybody to emerge and have more leaders and leaders into agents of change, there has to be an effort. And that's why you have things like discipleship. You have things like discipleship is somehow like a form of mentorship, where you have people following, learning from the leader or from the principal person who they are following. And so they learn. That period of mentorship where they learn and apply all the principles that they are being taught, that is actually the process that will emerge their increase. So the leader himself cannot stay the leader only. He has to be able to turn followers into leaders and leaders into agents of change, meaning that one leader has to be able to give birth to at least 2 to 5. I'm just using that as an example to ensure continuity, to ensure growth, because only you cannot be doing everything as a leader. If you are a leader and you always have to be there to work, then you still have a lot of work to do. So you should be able to. True leaders actually produce leaders. They produce agents of change. They don't just produce leaders, they produce agents of change, meaning one person should give birth to more people, which makes the work better and faster with more results. So the law of increase and the law of reproduction, they are interconnected. We see this play out every day. The law of increase happens around us. The same happens with your money. For those people who are looking forward to creating wealth, you have to start from somewhere. From most people who are 9 to 5ers, they feel like, I have to leave my job to go to start a business. But you don't necessarily need to leave your job to start a business. You can actually start something and then it increases, it grows in size. So the main goal of the law of increase is actually for growth. Every effort, whatever you are doing, is targeted towards growth of whatever it is you want to get. The intersections between the law of increase and the law of reproduction might be more, but I'll center them on two things: process and growth. Both the law of reproduction and the law of increase are interconnected. They both have process, they both have growth. You cannot reproduce when there's no process. You cannot reproduce anything. You cannot recreate a copy of anything. It can be anything, a human being in form of a baby, if there's no process of mating, for instance. The law of increase is the same. Anything cannot increase, anything cannot rise or grow in amount if there's no process. If there's no process, it won't work. 2, growth. Both of them have to grow. Their objective is growth. Their objective is growth. Law of reproduction, law of increase. Both of them are aiming towards growth. If you are not aiming towards growth, then you are not doing any one of them. But the main objective is actually to grow something. The same with law of reproduction and the same with the law of increase. And one thing I would like to let everyone know is these laws are not new laws. They are always around us. But I want us to always dig deep to look at everything around you, how you use this. We engage all these laws daily with our money, with our resources, with our time, with our efforts, with everything we do. But we have to be conscious. We have to be conscious of these laws. They are very applicable. Very, very applicable. In fact, we are already practicing many of them. But the issue is that we may not be conscious. My goal is actually to bring an awareness to people so that they can be conscious of it, and by being conscious, they will be able to take hold of those laws properly and ensure that they get the best out of the laws. Just like the same way we have laws that guide our physical world, we have laws that guide business, we have laws that guide family, we have laws that guide our environment, our interactions as human beings. The same thing, we have laws, spiritual laws. Thank you so much for joining me to watch this. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Stay for more. Thank you so much. I'd like to leave you with this favorite quote. I always quote from article Proverbs section 24 subsection 3, and it says, "By wisdom is a house built, and by understanding it is established, and the house is filled with goodies through knowledge." Stay blessed. Thank you guys.